Okay, so we're getting ready for the test. The test is on complex numbers. This is a complex number. And I'm going to start by simplifying that square root. Mr. O. Well, Mr. OP. Anyway, tell me what to do. Oh, I like it. And I've got two square roots, and one of them is -1, and one of them, so, well, what did you do again? You had a 10?
Yeah,
Square root of 4 and a square root of 10. Okay, awesome. And then that's really what? And that's really, so final answer. Raise your hand if you had the same thing for that part. Okay, good. So you get to actually kick it to the next person. Call on somebody. Anybody.
Alright. Next step.
Yep.
After you did that.
That's been done, and it's down to that. Okay, here, I'll clean it up for you. 6 plus minus 2I root 10 over 10.
And then so you factor out the 2.
I agree. I'm going to do that like this. The 6 is 2 times 3. The 2 is 2 times 1. Now help me write this over with the 2 factored up.
2 parentheses 3 plus 1
Said it really quiet like you weren't sure that was right, but yes. All over, hint, factor it.
5.
Yeah. Then, those cancel. Raise your hand if you had the right answer. Awesome. That's one difficult type of question. All right. Who's got another nomination? Something judging by what we've been doing so far, what do you think you might see on a test? How about you? Miss P? Ah, that's the largest one we've ever done, but it will test if you get the idea. I to the 25th. If you write I squared, I squared, I squared, I squared, I swear, that's not smart. Think of a way to do it more efficiently than writing out 35 I squareds. I squared's involved. See if you can do it easier than that. So let me guess, you won? Congratulations.
No, I won. And I gave it.
Oh, well, you won in a way because you convinced him to give you a spoon. All right. Did you really win? You'll be a winner in my book if you can do this, Mr. F. Oh, you're seriously writing out all the I squareds? Ugh. Not going to use you as my example then. How about you? I squared to the... How about if I did 10th? Would that give me enough I squareds? No. So, I squared to the what? 12. That would be I to the 24th. So, not plus, but times an I. There you go. Final answer? Well, I need to simplify I squared. There's a little bit too much talking going on right now. Stay with me. All right. This I squared is -1 to the 12th I. What does that mean? Know what to do? Yeah. And you times it by itself or put it to the 12th, and then what happens to it? Meaning that the answer is negative or the answer is positive. What do you say? It is positive. So therefore positive 1I, and therefore it's just I. Raise your hand if you had that one right. Okay, now that would be an easy one. That would be kind of like on R2 level. What would be a hard one like that? It's like a whole bunch of those problems all put together, and then some of them have numbers in front, and some of them have negatives on them, and then they turn out to be negative, and you have negatives of negatives, and oh, okay, be careful. This is the one where I would expect there'll be at least 4 different answers that smart kids in this room will think are the right answer. This is, I guarantee you're going to have at least 4 answer choices if I were to walk around right now. So I'm going to pause and do that. So I to the third, I just wrote down a whole bunch of answers kids thought it was. These two are actually extremely similar to each other, but that there was even people that just had no idea. So I get, this is a tough question. Tell me where you screwed up. At this moment, did you realize that was an I squared and an I, and therefore a negative 1I, and therefore this becomes negative 2I? Raise your hand if you had that part right. Okay. Raise your hand if you messed that part up. Okay, so there's a few of you. That's where you made your mistake. All right, next. This should have been an easy one because that's just negative 1, so that makes this a negative 3. So I already got 2 parts to my answer. I'm not done, but did anybody mess up on that one? All right, thanks for being honest. Next, the I. Well, I don't really want to say that that's like I need to make that square root of negative 1. I can just leave it as an I until later and add it to other stuff. And then how about that part? And being careful, there's a negative in front of it. Do you get that that's really I squared, which is negative 1, but it's to the third, and it's got a negative in front of it. Do you get what I did there? This is where a lot of you messed up right here. So now I'm going to be really careful and continue copying down exactly what these things are. And then I got to do it in the right order, because do you get if you do these 2 times each other, you're going to think it's positive 1 to the third, but it's not. So then that becomes negative 1 times the negative 1, which makes positive 1. Raise your hand if you had a positive 1 at the end there. Okay, good. So now I just put things together that are like terms. Between this and this and this and this, which things are alike? Well, the i's can go together. The I and the negative 2i, that makes negative I. And then the negative 3 and the 1 can go together and make a negative 2. And I should put the real part of the number first. So it was this one, negative 2 minus I. Just so you get a perspective, how many people in that room had that right from the beginning? That was your answer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, cool. But there's a lot of smart kids in here. You wouldn't be in honors. You wouldn't have made it this far. There were people that were here and have dropped. Okay, you've made it this far. There's a lot of people that could do math pretty well and messed up. So let's do one more like that. Be extra careful with your negatives. Let's see if we can get it up to 80% of you getting this right. 4i, no, t would really mess things up. 4i to the fourth minus 3i to the third minus 2i squared minus 1i. Now, I get this is a tough question. If the test only had these on it, only like half the class would pass. The test has a lot of other easy stuff on it, but this is one of the toughest things. So I'd rather practice these tougher things than give you a false sense of security. I could do a bunch of really easy questions right now and everybody feel like, oh, I get this, I'm going to be fine. And then you'd get to the test and, oh, ouch. I'd rather hit you with the harder ones now. Have you realize there are tough ones. But I don't want you to be defeated. And I'm going to pause for a second. Go. Oh, no. I think of you as my kids, but it's a little different. So, yes. All right, so that's I squared to the second, which means does it stay -1, or does the fact that it's squared make it back to positive? Okay, so that's positive 4. Raise your hand if you got that part right. Okay, good. Next part, Dice of Destiny, row 5, person 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's you. Hit it. I squared. I squared times I. And what's that? All right. It was a -3, so it's -3 times -1, which makes positive 3i. You are so right. 3i, and it's positive. Any questions on that one? All right. There was a contest or okay. Why don't you explain the spoon thing? Now you didn't even win the spoon. How'd you get?
There was a stand-up volunteer fair where they had like a wheel, and if you spun it and then landed on a carrot, you got either a spoon or a pair of sunglasses. Why didn't you get the sunglasses? Because why would you not grab a spoon?
I think spoon was extremely popular. I saw other kids that chose the spoon. All right. The next part, row 4, last person. That's you in the back. Miss C, do you know what to do on the I squared? This is a -1, so when they multiply together, you get +2. You are correct. Raise your hand if you got a +2 for that part. All right. And then row 4, last person. That's you. Nope, that's 3. Sorry. That's over here, and that was just you. So forget that. We're going to not do a redo. Row, good Lord, 3 in a row. Row 4, person 6 again. The odds of that, I can tell you later. All right, row 5. Person 6 in row 5 actually rotates back up to the front. So, Mr. P. Parker, you know what to do? We're doing the last part. Let's start. What is there to be done? I'm asking you. You're supposed to be doing this. What do you do? You're correct. It's just -1i. Sometimes the answer is that you don't do anything. All right, good. All right, so now let's bring down this +4 here. And if you put these all together properly, you should have had 6 + 2i. Raise your hand if you had it right. Yay, we went from only 6 people right to almost everybody right. Okay. Now, we've practiced not everything. We've practiced some of the harder ones today, okay? There are some easier ones. I could see this happening. Kids all ready for the hard ones, and then all of a sudden like this, 2 + I minus I + 4, and have them go, what am I supposed to multiply? I'm not sure what to do. Let's just make sure you wouldn't stumble on a really easy one. Write down what you think this one is, and turn and share it with the kid next to you, and see if you're smarter than them in this particular problem. Just for the record, this is not a perfect test of IQ. Pause for a moment while you figure this one out. All right. AE. What do you think? I like it. And you'll have -I and -4. And then this is really nothing to do. And look at the parentheses are gone. Final answer. -2? All right, I love that confidence. Sometimes kids are like, oh, no, must not be right. Raise your hand if you had -2. Okay, good. All right, so don't get confused when it's not hard. Because remember, we've been working on the really hard ones. There's plenty of easy ones, too. All right, your homework is a review. Just to clarify, do you remember last time I did this? I collected the review, and people were like, well, what? I didn't know I had to do the review. It's the most important assignment. Really, really. If you skip the last 3 assignments in a row and make it all up tonight, it would work. Like, you'd do fine on the test if you did all the work it took to catch up. This is the most important assignment. Please, I strongly recommend doing it, and I'm going to have you Dropbox it, so get her done. All right, that's all I got for you for today.